Hello to all my lovely listeners tuning in today. I am eager to share a few reflections that has been swirling in my mind lately. Reflections that I'm certain resonates with a few minds out there, since we're all here having a shared human experience. Today I wish for us to embark on a thoughtful exploration of the world we navigate. A world that can at times feel dark and alarming. I know that many of us find ourselves in constant battles, not only to illuminate the shadows that obscure our personal paths, but also to shed light on the collective journey of society. As I've embarked on my healing journey, I have discovered that the more I embrace love, the more profound my life actually becomes. The deeper my understanding grows, the more forgiving I become. As I immerse myself in love, empathy, and understanding and forgiveness, I have actually encountered strong resistance from various souls in my external world. The more I advocate for unity and shed light on the outdated nature of our world, be it the school system or religions or the medical system or global borders, or even the requirement for passports even in minor movements, the more resistance I face. I express concerns about the overpowering tracking of our every move and purchase. The world is actually undergoing a subtle yet noticeable change at a pace that catches my attention. We are at a war, and the majority of us are very unaware of the war that we are actually in. But I understand it, because I was once entangled in this chaos, deeply asleep and following to the rhythmic beats like everyone else. But today I can say I'm very fortunate, and I stand on the outside looking in. And the shock of what I see actually deeply pains my heart. I know that what is meant for us will be, I am sure. But for us to reach where we need to be, or where I would like for us all to be, or for like the human or the earth, we all need to, as a collective, let go of what we have believed in for so many generations. Everything is not meant to last. Just because it's been one way for as long as we can remember, doesn't mean it needs to stay the same. Things are meant to change. It's meant to evolve, and we are the change. I think it's very powerful to understand that we are the ones in power. We are the change. We are the ones who can shift the state of our society and world. I know that life is a journey filled with twists and turns. I know also that we all are doing our best to navigate through all of these complicated interactions of factors. As the external pressures and societal norms can be very suffocating, pushing us into this cycle of chasing after an image that might not align with our true selves. It's like we're living in an era of curated perfection, where appearance takes precedency over authenticity. I think that here is a crucial point to remember. This is where healing plays a significant role. Many of us are influenced by external forces, chasing a lifestyle sold to us, often at the expense of our own inner well-being, without us even being aware of it. I also believe that many of us assume we know our desires and ourselves. Yet the reality is that we often feel lost within it. We are so influenced by societal programs and indoctrinations that we are led to believe in certain wants and needs that ain't really for us. So, consequently, many spend their entire life in pursuit of those beliefs that has been sold to them. So I think it's important that by questioning the norm and striving for a new perspective, I do know it's a bold step that only a few dare to do, but I do believe that this is where change happens. Embracing natural beauty, both inside and out, it's a radical act in a world that often emphasizes artificial standards. I do think it's about time we redefine what matters and shift the focus of our own mind so we can be the change and the shift that this world needs. We need to genuinely start to care about our own inner well-being rather than external validation. as the external world often takes the center stage. It's like we're all performers, putting on a show for the world, where everyone has the pressure to conform to certain standards. The internal matters. Actually, that is what matters the most. Yet we have become so lost within it all that many of us aren't even able to pay attention to our inner world. The current state of the pain and suffering prevalent in the world serves as a reflection of our collective condition as a species. Through various personal battles within my inner circle, I've been prompted to look within and to question why certain challenges affect me so deeply as they do. What do I need to heal from to free myself from this? There is a constant internal pressure to radiate positivity in a world where daily encounters reveal nothing but misery. Observing individuals who seem oblivious to their robotic existence resembles a form of modern slavery. Physically present, but emotionally distant. In my relationships, I often grapple with complex emotions towards individuals who, knowingly or unknowingly, contribute to the world's segregation. I think it's disheartening to witness their acceptance of certain forms of segregation, only to oppose it when it hits close to home, or steers their own emotions, fostering an us versus them mentality. In these moments, I need to remind myself of the reality that each individual is wrestling with their own internal struggles and shadows. In my own personal healing, the more I underwent this transformative process, the more I found myself diverging from my own beliefs. This shift naturally affected those around me. And I encountered instances where people attempted to impose their reality onto me. I always politely tried to express my decision not to subscribe to their reality, and that only seemed to intensify our discussions. Or maybe perhaps a more fitting term is debates. People who didn't share my beliefs struggled to comprehend my perspective, especially since I also once had been attached to their worldview. These conversations became more triggering and uncomfortable for them, as they attempted to convince me to return to their line of thinking. What they failed to grasp when I tried to explain it to them was that they were stuck in learned patterns, unable to think independently, due to a set of ingrained programs and emotional attachments. Despite my efforts to maintain my space and request respect for my perspective, these interactions often escalated into debates. It felt like they felt compelled to win. I strive to share a part of myself with everyone I meet. Not because they necessarily want it, but because it might be what they need without even realizing it. I have stumbled upon many individuals who claim to be woke, while still remaining in a metaphorical cage. I often wonder, how and when did we evolve into a state of inconsideration towards one another? How would we reach a juncture where animosity is not directed only to strangers, but also to those we hold intimately? How did we reach such a point with this societal discord? Although it can be very challenging at times to witness, especially when people actively contribute to the problems, I strive to recognize that they are just in need of more healing. I acknowledge that there might be aspects of my own life that I am presently unaware of. And through the process of healing, I anticipate gaining clearer insights about myself and the world I live in as time unfolds. I do think in times of hardships that it's crucial to recognize the shared human experience. Empathy becomes a very powerful tool to bridge the gap that actually divides us. It's important that we ask ourselves, how can we cultivate compassion in a world that often seems chaotic and very unforgiving? Perhaps the first step lies in acknowledging that everyone is fighting their own battles. Understanding that each person carries their own burdens and shadows, can often soften our hearts towards one another. The majority of us are going through the same struggles for basic necessities. It is a shared circumstance. The illusion persists that financial success will bring happiness and fulfillment. Yet it often keeps them confined, asleep to the broader realities around them. Fulfillment and happiness can only be achieved if it comes from within. As we all navigate this challenging journey called life, I think it becomes essential to seek common ground rather than maintain division. I would love for us all to start to explore together how we can foster empathy and understanding and kindness in a world that so desperately is in need of it. As I navigate life's challenges, I am putting forth my best effort, just like everyone else. I am determined not to let external opinions undermine my progress or lure me back to a harmful place of self-destruction, a space I intentionally healed myself from. I have undergone that transformative process, and I am determined in not allowing anyone or anything to regress me to a state where love is absent. And when that might happen, or in those situations that it might happen, that, the situation takes the best out of me, and I go into like low vibration and, I let my emotions take the best of me, I try to catch myself quickly and apologize towards myself and the person that might be in the situation with me, if there is another person in the situation with me. I think it takes presence for this, and I appreciate being in the present. I adore the way my heart feels and the clarity which my eyes see the unfiltered truth. This is where I want to be, embracing the positive changes and growth that have shaped me into the person I am today. I love taking responsibility. I know it's an emergency going on Earth, because it's very alarming to see the pain that so many are in. I just want to fight for us all to be blessed. I want to fight for us all to know the truth of who we are and what is going on. I want to fight for us all. But I have to be honest, I find myself at times holding back from expressing my feelings, recognizing that not everyone is ready to confront the truth. There have even been times when I've been afraid of the truth that I have uncovered, because it has been very unsettling. The difficulties lies in anticipating how others will receive or even interpret these revelations, particularly since I've been labeled crazy on multiple occasions. I find it to be very puzzling that the individual presenting the truth often ends up being cast as the bad guy. Instead of directing anger towards the authorities that subtly is shaping our reality, the conspiracies or conspiracy theorists is a common word that is used for truth tellers. I think it's a word that has been created by some individuals to make truth tellers seem like they're crazy or off. I think that this reversal should raise questions about why the anger isn't directed at the entities that is actually responsible for orchestrating these subtle manipulations, leading many to remain oblivious. The paradox of blaming those who reveal the truth rather than those who orchestrate the deceit. I think we should be inspired by one another. If I may say something that is new to you or even crazy, I find it to be interesting that one doesn't want to find out for themselves, but rather remain stuck in their ways and beliefs. I prioritize inspiration over competition, aiming to inspire and be inspired by those I encounter. I do not have time to impress. I only want to inspire. Everything you see in me is a pure reflection of what you are. You wouldn't be able to see me in the light you do if that light didn't exist in you. The beauty you see around you is a reflection of the beauty inside of you. Everything that you perceive is a pure reflection of you. The good and the bad, the ugly and the beautiful. The light is within you. The positivity you see exists because it also resides in you. I reject the notion of competition and aspire to create an environment where we uplift each other. As I mentioned earlier, the darkness in this world is also a reflection of what we have inside of us. You are a light being and can be a part of the change that purifies the darkness that is within. That becomes a reflection outside of you. And the world will start to look different. You will become different the more you purify yourself. I have learned that the jealousy often stems from a lack of healing. And I recognize the importance of fostering understanding and self-love. I often question why. When the truth is revealed, the messenger becomes the target of frustration. Claiming belonging to all humanity seems to irk some, raising the questions of why expressing a commitment to unity brings forth resistance. I find myself apologizing for being upset about the world's state, hoping for a collective to change. I think the world should be ashamed. The pervasive segregation dividing us along various lines is evident. The world seems to be grasping every opportunity to create divisions, whether it's based on gender or sexuality, religion, age, or titles. My pursuit is peace. Peace for all living beings, regardless of our differences. It shouldn't be met with punishment, but rather shared compassion and understanding. We should all have the liberty to explore and define who we want to be without being beholden to anyone's expectations. Love has the incredible power to emancipate us both individually and as a collective. It serves as a healing force, as a crucial key to unlocking our true selves. Love stands as the answer we earnestly seek and desperately need. In essence, love should be the only religion. Love is inherently pure, kind, and true. Genuine love does not inflict harm. It is not filled with hate. Love possesses a unique quality of blindness, refraining from passing judgment or harboring negativity. In its essence, love embodies peace. As I express my truth, I advocate for unity, stating that I belong to all of humanity, our whole earth and all living beings, and the universe as a whole. I know I might provoke frustration and anger in some individuals. The reason for this reaction can vary and are influenced by several factors, I believe. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think that one of the factors being fear of the unknown. People often fear what they don't understand. My inclusive perspective challenges traditional boundaries and categories, which can make some individuals uncomfortable. Another reason can be that it's a threat to their beliefs. My broad sense of belonging challenges established norms and beliefs. Individuals who strongly identify with specific groups may feel threatened by the idea of more expansive, inclusive connections. I think projection is another one. People might project their own insecurities or unresolved issues onto me. My open-mindedness and universal perspective may trigger discomfort in those struggling with personal conflicts. Same goes for those who is resistant to change. Humans tend for some weird reason to resist change. And my message challenges existing models. Some may resist the idea of breaking free from established norms and boundaries. Group identity may be another factor, since people often find comfort in belonging to specific groups or categories. I know that my refusal to fit neatly into predefined pockets challenges the sense of belonging, which can be very unsettling for some. In essence, my inclusive perspective challenges the status quo, and not everyone is ready or willing to embrace such a shift in their perspective. It's perplexing to me that some try to confine me to a specific group or category, when my intentions is to transcend such distinctions and foster a sense of belonging to the broader spectrum of existence. I genuinely wonder why this inclusive perspective seems to evoke anger in certain individuals, and I'm curious to understand the underlying reasons behind their reactions. The resistance and frustrations I encounter from various people may stem from these deep-seated psychological and societal factors. But it won't stop me from keep spreading what I believe in, which is love and light. I am a light worker, and I am a healer. I am a woman on a mission with a purpose bigger than myself. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of our shared humanity. Remember, even in the darkest moments, a glimmer of light can guide us forward. We have to let the darkness appear and surface so the light can guide the way. When you are in a dark room and put on the small light, no matter how small it is, you will see it, and it will make it possible for you to walk towards it. The light will only be visible in the darkness. Until next time, stay compassionate and stay kind. Namaste.